So today it's Chennai versus Delhi Capitals at Chepauk Stadium, and certainly some people are fearing about the way has lower teams has played against the table toppers. And we know who are in the lower end and who are on the top end of this points table. I'm here to discuss the same with Pratyay and Kaustav Sen Gupta. Pratyay, हमने इस सीजन देखा है जब से इनिशियली दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई ये जो पॉइंट्स टेबल है काफी ओपन है कि अभी रिसेंटली हमने देखा है जो टीम्स लोअर एंड पर हैं पॉइंट्स टेबल के और उन्होंने टॉप टीम्स को मात देना शुरू कर दिया है और मैचेस उनके अगेंस्ट जीतना शुरू कर दिया और इसके बहुत सारे एग्जांपल्स हैं हमारे पास बट स्टिल ये मैच आज चेन्नई और दिल्ली कैपिटल्स के बीच चेन्नई के होम ग्राउंड में होने वाला है बट अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर थिंकिंग कि मे बी इस मुकाबले में भी हमें ये देखने को मिले कि आउट ऑफ नो वेयर डीसी विल कम एज अ सुपर हीरो एंड दे विल जस्ट सिंपली विन इट अगेंस्ट चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स सो डू यू सी दिस बाय एनी चांस दिस इज गोना हैपन टुडे
See, I think definitely yes, because it's been that kind of an IPL. This season, we are seeing something. It has been billed as the tightest season, and it's for a reason. Because by this time, usually you see that you start to kind of get a feel कि हाँ ये चार teams होंगी या शायद पांच teams होंगी इन पांच में से चार qualify कर जाएंगी. But right now there is no one who has been ruled out. Even Sunrisers Hyderabad, bottom of the table, Delhi Capitals, bottom of the table, even they are in the hunt. So it has been that kind of a season. And the kind of victory SRH had against RR, if you would go by the positioning on the table, you would think that RR should be able to dominate them. But they come out of nowhere, chase down something which is 200, 215. The scoring rate has gone up. 200 is being breached as often as it has never been done, 30 times already in the season. So the scoring rates are high. Impact sub player that is making a change to the dynamics of the game as well. And speaking of Chennai Super Kings, they cannot breathe easy for the simple reason that yes, they have actually solidified their position at number 2, but the jam just below that, you really won't know a couple of games here and there, and you would start to feel under pressure, and you would perhaps become a part of that traffic jam, and you don't want that to happen because you are right now in a good position behind Gujarat Titans. So I don't think that there is any room for complacency for any team, even if you are the number one team. This IPL is not one where you can actually be complacent at any point of time because 54th, 55th game, and you still don't know, what's going to happen. As for Delhi, I think it's not going to be easy because historically they have struggled against CSK, and not to forget the fact that they are coming to Chennai, which is not going to be easy playing because this is one of the hardest teams, one of the best teams when it comes to taking the advantage of home. But Punjab Kings, Rajasthan Royals, two teams that have defeated Chennai in Chennai. 5 games they've won 3 and lost 2 as well. So it is not something which we usually see in IPL because otherwise in the IPL, Chennai at Chepauk is absolutely unbeatable. At times they end up with a 100% record as well. This time it's not the case. So they will feel that yes, they have a chance, and even on the basis of recent form, Chennai 2-3 games, they couple of losses, then a no result, then they defeated Mumbai Indians. But Delhi, they have suddenly, found this newfound vigor. They have, after 5 losses, couple of victories, then a loss, but then they have again won 2. So 4 matches won in the last 5. It's something that they are looking for a turnaround. So you really can't discount them at any cost.
Right, and with that, let's take a look at the head-to-head of Delhi Capitals and Chennai Super Kings, as they have played many more matches together, and they have played so far 27 matches, in which CSK has won 17 and Delhi Capitals has won 10 matches. But Kostav, as we were discussing about Delhi Capitals and Chennai Super Kings and their chance to win the match, I would just like to know simply, like, what is more lethal for a team, like to have a good combination or to have this kind of a confidence which DC already have? What is lethal?
I think the combination is way more important because on a particular day, any team can beat any opponent. I believe so. It's a right combination is very important in cricket. We have seen Delhi struggling, like previously Delhi was struggling with the combination, and someone or the other is not fitting. We have seen Prithvi Shaw getting a lot of chances. Probably Sarfaraz Khan got a lot of chances, but then again they have probably finally found their right combination, and that's why they have managed to win 4 of their last 5 games, if I'm not very wrong. But Chennai is doing that. Chennai have that thing in so many years. Like they have remained calm in the auction. They have went for players that they know they are very much sure that they've won that particular player, and that is one of the reasons why Chennai are so successful in the tournament. I believe because again. For consistency, you need a proper team, a proper game plan that always MS Dhoni had or the Chennai team management had, and that is why that is the reason behind the success for such a long time.
राइट, दैट्स क्वाइट अ पिक इन दिस मैच। अभी देखते हैं एक बार इस पिच की रिपोर्ट क्या कहती है एम ए चिदम्बरम में। दो इट्स लाइक वेरी मच नोन कि हाउ चिदम्बरम बेसिकली बिहेव्स, बट लेट अस नो लाइक व्हाट द पिच रिपोर्ट सेज। द पिच इन चेन्नई assists spinners better than pacers. Average first inning score at this venue is in IPL 2023 is 174. Since ये पिच स्पिनर्स को ज्यादा बेटर उनको परफॉर्म करने में हेल्प करती है, सो प्रत्यय ऐसे में लाइक दिल्ली कैपिटल्स के पास ऐसा कहा जाता है कि दे डोंट रियली हैव दैट गुड ऑफ अ स्पिन बैटर्स देन एनी अदर टीम इन द IPL राइट नाउ. So, and definitely CSK has a really good spin attack. Like they've got Moeen Ali, they've got Ravin Jadeja, and other names to continue with. So, how do you see this? Like, how can really Delhi Capitals take this forward? How can they really beat CSK spinners? Like, particularly if we talk about spin department only.
See, on paper, if you start seeing and if you start comparing Jadeja, Moin, and Theekshana's trio with, say, Aksar, Kuldeep, and Lalit Yadav, who is coming in this game, I don't think that you would be perhaps tilting to Delhi's side. But then the kind of control that both of Aksar and Kuldeep in particular have shown. Aksar is having a great season both with the bat and ball, and he has been economical. Even in games where he hasn't taken too many wickets, he has been on the good side of the economy. 5, 6, 7 runs for a spinner. It's not easy, and we know that a lot of players are good players of spin. Even the overseas players who are playing in the IPL this year, a lot of them have a prowess to and a liking to play against spin. Of course, overseas players, you expect them to be good against pace, but one of the key areas where you want to target them is spin. So they are playing well. But despite that, Akshar is having a good season. Kuldeep has been on right on the money as well, because taking wickets consistently, again being on the economical side, and one off game here and there. Apart from that, he hasn't really been taken for too many runs either. And this is Chepauk, where we know that it is always a case of spin getting a little bit of help. Yes, previous game was a bit of an exception because you expected spin to rule the roost, but you saw what Deepak Chahar and Pathirana did to Mumbai Indians. But otherwise, the conventional norm that is at Chepauk is that spin is going to win. So I think it's going to be a good battle between both the side spinners, because all of them, all 4 5 names that are on the sides as far as spin is concerned, they're all experienced contenders, and they have played a lot of IPL, as well as some of them have international experience as well. But Delhi, I think, would be more slightly circumspect for the reason that they are struggling against spin big time. They've lost 30 wickets this year to spin, which is more than any other team. So they know that this is an obvious weakness. And not to forget the fact that now, with if you start looking at their top four, last previous game, all 4 of them were overseas batters, and of those, there are not too many players who are great players of spin. Salt is someone who likes pace on the bat. Russo again is that kind of a player. Mitchell Marsh also, numbers would suggest that he would want to bat against pace more than spin. David Warner is, I think, yes, he is a legend of the IPL, and he, I think, is someone who has tackled both spin and pace equally well. But if you look at that top four, there are not too many players who have a great ability of playing spin. So you will have to watch out for the trio of Theekshana, Jadeja, and Moin Ali.
Right. With that, let's take a look at the player to watch out of this match as well. Like Delhi Capitals and Chennai Super Kings have got some players who can really win the match for them. But for Delhi Capitals, we know it's just one name, which is David Warner. And he's certainly someone जिन्होंने Delhi Capitals के end से कई बार responsibility ली है, और even काफी सारे matches Delhi Capitals ने जीते हैं, उसका reason David Warner रहे हैं. और आज भी DC चाहेगी कि ये कुछ ऐसा ही perform करें जिससे DC को match जीतने को मिले. And if we go to Chennai Super Kings, that is Ruturaj Gaikwad today, because Chepauk में जब से उन्होंने Chepauk में specifically उनकी जो फॉर्म देखने को मिली है लाजवाब रही है, और ऋतुराज गायकवाड़ ने कई बार चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स के लिए मैच विनिंग इनिंग्स खेली है. सो ही इज डेफिनेटली गोइंग टू बी द प्लेयर टू वॉच आउट. बट सिंस हम लोगों ने इस लाइव से पहले अपने व्यूअर्स को वादा किया है कि हम उनको बताएंगे फैंटेसी के टॉप 4 पिक्स, सो आई वुड लाइक टू कंटिन्यू विद कौस्तव की. कौस्तव, योर 4 पिक्स फ्रॉम डीसी एंड सीएसके साइड, whom they should not be missing out while making an 11 for their fantasy contest.
I think the first name will be Devon Conway, because the kind of form he's in at the moment, I think it will be really weird to actually miss him out. The second will be Matisha Pathirana. Again, he's picking up wickets in every match. He's in such a good form, and the pitch in Chennai really supports him, especially with Dhoni up there. I think he's guiding the player really well. These two names comes to my mind from CSK, and from DC, probably Philip Salt, because in the last game he played a really good knock of, probably scored 81 runs of 39 balls, if I'm not wrong. So Philip Salt will definitely be in the mix, and probably Akshar Patel, because again he can give something with the ball, do something with the bat. So I think you can't really miss him out.
Right. Pratik, your pick for this match?
Yes, more or less similar. I think Conway, the kind of form he has shown, he is actually leading even points wise. He's giving you the most number of points. There's this contest which goes on. I'm forgetting the name. Up stocks, I think the most valuable player. So he has the most fantasy points in that as well. So of course he is the hot pick for you if you're making a fantasy team, because almost second on the leading run scorers chart. Pathirana has been a revelation, but I think Thikshana, because it's on Chennai's track, and I'm expecting spin to play a role. It has been slightly dry as well. This time of the year in May, you have plenty of heat, can be humid, so I think Thikshana could be one of the picks. From Delhi, there are not too many choices. In the last 2-3 games, at least, there have been at least some contenders that you can pick. Otherwise, it was all about Warner Aksar. Warner Aksar, you were just talking about them because it was only these two players who were really performing or doing something. But the kind of form that Salt showed in the previous game, 87 of 45, I think, and the kind of shots that he played, it showed that he has kind of got back into form. The only problem with him is that he's slightly inconsistent. But if the opening problem can be solved, because this was the first game when DC actually managed to solve that opening combination problem that has persisted with them throughout the IPL, right from the start, from Salt Warner and then Shaw and Warner and then Salt and Warner. So I think he has gotten amongst form. He could be one of the players. And apart from that, I have to go with Akshar Patel because he is someone who's first of all a batting all-rounder, contributing with the bat. We saw him that he was promoted up the order in the previous game, so perhaps he would be batting better and would be getting more balls to face in the game. And as I said, Chepauk spin is going to win, so I think he can bring his spin variant as well on the pitch. So he's someone who can contribute with both the things and give you points from both the dimensions. So Akshar and Salt from DC and Thikshana and Conway from Chennai.
Okay, so after the toss, we have got this information कि कुछ changes हुए हैं दोनों ही teams में. That is, Sambati Raidu comes in for Dubey for CSK and Lalit comes in for Manish Pandey. इन changes के साथ एक बार देखते हैं इनकी playing 11 कैसी दिखाई पड़ रही है, which is Chennai Super Kings की अगर हम 11 की बात करें, ऋतुराज गायकवाड़, टिफिन कॉनवे, अजिंक्य रहाणे, अंबाती रायडू, मोइन अली, रविंद्र जडेजा, MS धोनी, Deepak Chahar, Matisha Pathirana, तुषार देशपांडे और महेश थिक्शाना. Now if we go to Delhi Capitals, तो उनकी 11 कुछ इस तरीके से दिखाई पड़ रही है, which is David Warner, Philip Salt, Mitchell Marsh, Riley Russo, the top 4 from foreign, and Akshar Patel, Aman Hakim Khan, Lalit Yadav, Kuldeep Yadav, Mukesh Kumar, Khalil Ahmed और ईशान शर्मा. इन दोनों टीम्स के बारे में सिंस हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, बट वी ऑल नो कि इस सीजन इन दोनों ही टीम्स के लिए कुछ बहुत ही बड़े पॉजिटिव्स और बहुत ही बड़े नेगेटिव्स भी हमको दिखाई पड़े हैं. इस थ्रू आउट सीजन जिस तरीके से जब भी कोई टीम खेलने के लिए आती है तो वो ग्रो करती है विद द सीजन. So Costa, I would like to ask you this question, which is also in our comment section. What is the biggest positive for CSK and DC, and what is the biggest negative for CSK and DC as well? So you can also give me one, and Pratyay, then you can continue further.
I think the biggest positive will be the inclusion of Pathirana and Thiksana in the squad. In the playing 11, I think they are one of the reasons why CSK are doing so well with the ball, because we know Deepak Char was out injured for so many games, and Tushar Deshpande is again picking up wickets, but then again leaking so many runs. So they needed a bowler who can step up time and again and deliver. And I think that is what Pathirana is mostly doing, but then again Thikshana is doing well as well. So I think that the way Dhoni is managing these two cricketers, and recently we have seen Dhoni making a comment that probably Pathirana should not play Test cricket or something like that. Dhoni said he should focus more on white ball cricket and ICC tournaments. So I think the way Dhoni is grooming them for the future, I think that is a great sign for CSK and for Sri Lankan cricket as well. When it comes to DC, I really don't know what to exactly say. What are the positives for this DC this year? Probably Akshar Patel's form can be one of them, because we have World Cup coming up. So if he's in form, then I think it will give more variety in the Indian team. If by chance something happens to Jadeja, Akshar Patel can chip in. I think that is the only positive for, again, from Indian team's point of view. For DC, I really don't know. Mukesh Kumar, probably I don't know. I don't know for DC.
Pratyay, you can pitch in here.
See, I think starting off with CSK, the list is very long if you start talking about the positives. Look at the openers, Devon Conway, Gaikwad, the kind of partnership they have formed. And it is something that Chennai have been known for, right from the start of the tournament. It is one overseas opener from Hussey, then Faf du Plessis, now you have Conway. So they have been that strength continues, it forms a part of their legacy that goes on. Number 3, Rahane, I think, who could have thought?
Yeah.
I mean, he is an absolute revelation this season. blown away everyone's mind because the kind of batting he has shown, it has been phenomenal. Moeen Ali hasn't really done that much, but still, he is someone who adds plenty of meat to your middle order. Shivam Dubey has been phenomenal as well because the manner in which he's hitting, clean striking of the ball, and again he is someone who we know that he has the flair, that natural left-handers fling that we always talk about. He has that kind of a swing, so he has been amongst the runs as well. Bowling wise, if you start picking up names, Tikshana has been slightly wayward at times, but he has been on the good side of economy. Pathirana, no matter how much you talk about the guy, he has been another revelation because Baby Malinga, he's living up to his billing. And apart from that, what you have Tushar Deshpande again, slightly wayward at times, but 19 wickets for him in the season, so you know that he's having a blast. So positives are really really long. Negatives, I think the only negative I perhaps would say is that Raidu hasn't really looked the Raidu that we know him to be, because he is someone who is he's the kind of a glue in your middle order. He connects your middle order and lower order, and your top order and lower order. He hasn't really been able to do that. So I think apart from that, I don't really see too many negatives. DC is quite the opposite. If you talk about the negatives, there have been a plenty because opening hasn't really worked. But the biggest letdown, if I have to name one, it would be that the middle order is filled with such great Indian talents. Look at Ripple, Lalit, and Priyam Garg, Sarfaraz Khan, Prithvi Shaw. These are 4, 5 good young Indian domestic talents whom you would have wanted to contribute to your team success. Having tried 22, 24 players of your squad at the halfway mark, you have gone to what? Marsh, Russo, Salt, and Warner. So, despite having a great Indian middle order contingent, you are forced to rely on your overseas players. And what in turn that does is that now you can no longer use any of your overseas in your bowling department because all your 4 top order batters are your overseas players. So you are no longer having a room of using any of your bowlers, the foreign bowlers. So that has been a letdown. Positives, like Costa said, there hasn't been too many for DC, but in parts the way the comeback of Warner, because in the initial phase we saw that he was struggling, the strike
Yeah.
rate was a concern, but then he played a couple of free flowing knocks. And Akshar Patel, I have constantly said every single time I sat talking about Delhi Capitals, I have but not been able to control talk about that person because he has been a revelation again, right from the Border Gavaskar Trophy till right now in the IPL. The manner in which he has contributed both with the bat and ball, that has been great. And in the last 2, 3 games, I think you have to talk about Ishant Sharma as well because it's
Yeah.
never easy. When you make a comeback, when you're out on the benches for so long, not playing cricket, when you come back, it is never easy to make the kind of statement that he has. So bringing all his experience to the fore, the knuckle ball that he delivered to Vijay Shankar, still one of the highlights of the IPL, I would say. He has had a good season to remember, delivering both in the power play and the death. So I think 2, 3 positives would be Akshar Patel, Ishant Sharma, and David Warner.
Right, there was very few to name, but definitely Desi has something at least to feel good about it. Now, I have got another question, but I'll ask this after social tracker. So let's take a look at the social tracker, like how people are basically discussing about this match. But before we go to social tracker, I think I better ask this question because there are people who might be thinking like there are certain teams in IPL who are playing like who are playing like a different sports team in the league, not in the IPL particularly, but some other teams like football maybe or basketball maybe. So if you can name, like, because Pratyay and Kausav, we both are very much fond of other teams as well, like other than cricket as well. So if I get to ask you, like, I'm giving you 4 teams: CSK, Delhi Capitals, Mumbai Indians, and RCB. If I give you 4 teams, please let me know like which, like, these team are playing like which team in any other sport. If you can just simply combine them. So Costa, I'll start off with you. Do you resemble any team?
Can you tell me the name of the teams that you just mentioned?
Chennai Super Kings, Delhi Capitals, Mumbai Indians, and RCB.
I'll have to talk about I'll compare them with other foreign teams like football or
Like,
something like
let's
that.
say, if you can simply say CSK is like, I'm sorry, very bad example, but still, CSK is like Paris Saint Germain, maybe PSG. It's like that.
Okay. Okay, CSK I would go with.
प्रत्यय मुझे प्राइवेट चैट पे बोल रहे डोंट आस्क मी आई आस्क यू प्रत्यय यू हैव टू आंसर दिस यू कैन गिव मी एनी अदर फ्रेंचाइज लीग एज वेल क्रिकेट का चलो इसको भी
Okay,
थोड़ा सा
probably
इजी
CSK is Barcelona, maybe.
Barcelona.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
ठीक है.
Lot of experience, lot of history, winning mentality. Probably Barcelona with CSK. Which team next? I can only talk about football. I
ठीक है.
can't name anything
Give
else.
me Delhi Capitals and then give me Mumbai Indians and RCB.
Delhi Capitals, probably Tottenham Hotspur.
Okay.
RCB. RCB is definitely Paris Saint Germain just because the star power in RCB and the star power in Paris Saint Germain, they always have a lot of stars, but they in the end they don't produce result in the on the pitch.
Okay.
So probably that, and which is the other team?
RCB and Mumbai Indians.
Okay, Mumbai. Then I'll I'll name Real Madrid just because most successful team in the history of the IPL, most successful team in the history of
Yeah.
UCL. So okay, then Mumbai with the Madrid.
Okay, एक और बच रहा था RCB.
RCB बोल दिया ना PSG.
Sorry, DC is there then.
DC Tottenham Hotspur, not doing nothing
Tottenham
at the
Hotspur.
moment.
चलो प्रत्यय, it's your turn now. Give me any other than sports और बाकी sports रहने दो, cricket से ही बता दो, किसी और franchise से maybe.
Yeah, definitely, definitely
See,
wheels का कुछ होने वाला है.
I am strictly a cricket fanatic, and I really do not follow. I really do not follow tennis or
Go to
football
cricket. Like
even.
we
But
have
if I
got
have to give
T20,
cricketing
we have got
equivalents, yes, that
PSL.
yes,
Yeah.
cricketing equivalents would be possible. See,
Hmm.
I
Tell me.
think cricketing equivalents. I think Australia and Chennai Super Kings. For the reason, yes, you might
They
say that
both
you
wear
would want
yellow.
to go with Mumbai Indians. Sorry.
They both wear yellow because CSK and
No, no,
Australia.
not because of that, but the kind of leadership instincts that you see from Ponting and you see
Hmm.
from Dhoni, the kind of success that they have. Yes, they have
Hmm.
lost more finals than they have won, you could argue, but I
Huh.
still feel, a couple of occasions and their arch rivals, Mumbai Indians, a couple of finals, just one lost by 1 run, lost by what, 3 runs against Rajasthan Royals in the inaugural edition. So there have been very close calls. CSK could well have had. I know I'm talking about the would has and should has, but CSK could very well have had at least 7 titles, even at least 6 to 7 titles, had they not been able to, fail in capitalizing those very few crunch moments. So I think it's one of the best teams, my personal favorite as well. So I think CSK and Australia. Mumbai also is pretty similar to them because if you look at the kind of domination Australia had in the initial, in the 2000s, they were a team which was totally unmatched, unparalleled, untouched. You could not even argue against them. You could not pit teams against them because it was that kind of a domination they had, simply ruling the roost in ODI World Cups, winning them back to back. 99, 2003, 2007. So it is something that we have seen Mumbai Indians do, because 5 IPL titles, winning them back to back as well once. So you know that these are not mean feats. These are not something that you can easily attain. So I think, yeah, these two teams are pretty similar to Australia. Apart from that, what are the other teams? DC. DC,
Yeah.
I think it's one of those teams which you really can't put a finger on why they do not perform, because ever since they were Delhi Daredevils, they haven't really been able
They were
to
New
impact.
Zealand, maybe. They were New Zealand, unable to win the
Bangladesh,
trophy.
Not really,
Bangladesh.
not really New Zealand, because New Zealand off late, in the last 2 3 years,
हाँ.
say since 2019 World Cup, qualifying for that final, then the World Test Championship final that they have won. This season wasn't really great
Recently
for
they
them,
have.
this
Yeah.
title, but otherwise New Zealand has been they have been a bit of an underdog. That they have that kind of reputation that they will come to the ICC tournaments and they are definitely going to leave you impressed. It is that
Hmm.
kind of a team. Delhi Daredevils or Delhi Capitals haven't really inspired that kind of confidence. Apart from that one season when the Delhi Capitals qualified in 2021, I guess, and they
Hmm.
ended up squandering the chances by losing both the playoff games. They had a chance
Hmm.
to go to the finale, but they ended up losing. So I don't think New Zealand, but I think yes, inconsistent. So who does comes to your mind? Maybe South
Bangladesh,
Africa.
Bangladesh.
No. Bangladesh should be
South
slightly
Africa.
cruel for Delhi.
South Africa.
South Africa, yes, that's what I said. South Africa, because a team that you expect a lot from, but somehow or the other, they end up bottling every single time. So that has to be a Delhi Capitals, and the other team was RCB.
RCP. Yeah. Also.
RCB, I think, would be a hybrid of Pakistan and South Africa, for the
Oh,
simple reason
nice.
that because see, because you don't know
RCB fans
what.
are going to unfollow you. Just इसको सोच के बोला.
I know it's a very popular team. I personally
Yeah.
love a few players, but my only problem with RCB has been that its image, its brand has been phenomenal. But if you look at GT and CSK, Costa was pointing out something that you asked to him in the first question, that what is more important, the confidence or having a good team? Look at Gujarat Titans, look at Chennai Super Kings. You do not see superstar players in them, as many superstars in them as you have in other teams. But despite that, the kind of success that these two franchises have managed is next to the to the best, because Gujarat Titans won with a very underwhelming kind of a team that you we all said कि इनके 11 भी बनेंगे कि नहीं बनेंगे वो भी नहीं समझ में आ रहा. Ended up winning this year, again table topper. So anyone who was saying कि वो तुक्का था, it was a fluke, it wasn't a fluke. They are doing it again. They are sitting on top of the IPL table in the tightest seasons of all time. So
Yeah.
you know that it is a team. Chennai Super Kings again. Theekshana, Pathirana, Tushar Deshpande, no star value.
No big
You
names.
have a
Yeah.
couple of players, you have Dhoni, Stokes, and all of that, but otherwise the majority of the team, Rahane, Gaikwad, Conway, all underrated players, all players who are not those big players on the social media or big players who have a lot of following. With these kind of players, when you win, that is when you kind of make a statement. RCB's problem right from the start has been that they have been over reliant on 2 3 names, and the team, the team's identity has been identified from those two three players. So you had Gale, you had Dilshan, you had ABD, now you have Kohli, Faf, and Maxwell. There was Stain as well. So all the years of IPL, whenever you see the team, there are always these 3 or 4 people you are talking about, 3 and 4 players you are talking about, and not the entire team. And they are the ones who drag the team forward. So this year also they had a great chance. They had Lomror, Suyash Prabhudesai, Mahipal Lomror, players like them who could have done what perhaps players at CSK and GT are doing. But for some or the other reason, you look at RCB, you look at Sunrisers Hyderabad, they've had great Indian talents, but for some or the other reason, they just do not come to the party when they are a part of those units or those franchises, which is something that totally beats me, because of course we are not sitting inside the rooms. What goes on there we don't know, but maybe it's something that a captain, an environment, the think tank, all of these things come into picture, because these are the things that actually inspire you to win. So at times you would perhaps give a point extra to Dhoni, Pandya, and the likes, that they are able to inspire their teams to victories, whereas RCB and these teams haven't really been able to do that. So coming back to the question, Pakistan and South Africa, for the simple reason that Pakistan is very erratic. Yes, last 2 3 years they have performed extremely well, but it is one of those teams you would always say कि ये कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. Beware of them. Never take them lightly, because on their day they can beat anything out of you. So it is that kind of a team. South Africa, why? Because as I said, RCB team with great expectations every single year. Not once will you see their fan base, tilting even slightly. They're just as loud as they were in the first season. In the 15th and the 16th, there is no difference. They're still as loyal. They are still, backing them and doing the Isala Cup Namde thing. But despite that, it is erratic, because when it comes to the crunch moments, when it comes to winning titles or qualifying, they somehow at the end up, they end up losing their gas. So a mix of Pakistan and South Africa for that reason.
काफी ज्यादा एक्सप्लेन करके आपने बताया ना कि आरसीबी फैंस बिल्कुल चिल्लाए नहीं और फॉलो करना बंद ना करें सोशल मीडिया पे. बट देन अगेन ये डिस्कशन सिर्फ हमारा नहीं है, ये सारे व्यूवर्स जो हमें देख रहे हैं उनका भी डिस्कशन है. अब हमें कमेंट सेक्शन में बता सकते हैं अकॉर्डिंग टू यू विच टीम रिजेंबल्स विच टीम में बी इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट, और जैसे कि प्रत्यय ने आंसर किया, या फिर आप कहीं किसी और स्पोर्ट को भी ले सकते हैं, बिकॉज देन इट इज इंटरेस्टिंग, लाइक बिकॉज हमें पता है किस तरीके की जर्नी रही है इन सभी टीम्स की. लेकिन अब जब जिसकी शुरुआत हमने पहले करी थी विच वाज सोशल ट्रैकर, तो एक बार देखते हैं कि आज के इस मैच को लेकर के ट्वीट्स क्या क्या आए हैं सोशल मीडिया पर. सो ये हमारा पहला ट्वीट, सीएसके वर्सेस डेसी इन द लास्ट 6 मैचेस इन चेपॉक, और सब में सीएसके जीती है. दिल्ली लास्ट वन इन चेपॉक इन 2010, उसके बाद से अभी ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं है. बट इस सीजन दिल्ली कैपिटल्स लाइक अभी रीसेंट फॉर्म के चलते काफी अनप्रिडिक्टेबल दिखाई पड़ रही है. सो यू नेवर नो. नेक्स्ट ट्वीट इज फ्रॉम चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स, और यहाँ पर हम देख सकते हैं एमएस धोनी विद आई गेस दिस इज द एलिफेंट विस्परर्स स्टार कास्ट, लाइक नॉट द स्टार कास्ट बट द कास्ट डेफिनेटली जिन्होंने ऑस्कर जीता था. और जब ये मुकाबले से पहले एमएस धोनी ने उनसे मुलाकात की और इसकी एक फोटो शेयर करी चेन्नई सुपर किंग्स से, विच इज रियली ग्रेट. Next tweet is MS Dhoni in CSK versus DC matches at Chepauk, innings 7 runs, 250, average 62.50, strike rate 183. एंड डेफिनेटली अगर ऐसा स्ट्राइक रेट और ऐसी इनिंग्स आज धोनी ने खेल दी तो मुझे बाकी का पता नहीं, पर चेपॉक को मजा आ जाएगा फॉर श्योर, बिकॉज हम सब वेट कर रहे हैं इस तरह की इनिंग का. और ये सीएसके का फैन बेस अभी 12 मिलियन का हो गया है इंस्टाग्राम पे, विच इज क्वाइट इंटरेस्टिंग. मेरे पास वैसे एक और क्वेश्चन होता, बट अभी हमारा टाइम हो चला है क्योंकि मैच शुरू होने वाला है, सो वी हैव टू एंड दिस लाइव। बट आफ्टरवर्ड्स जो भी डिस्कशन बच रहे हैं वो हम लोग पोस्ट मैच में लेकर के आएंगे, प्लस हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे मैच को लेकर के। तब तक आप बने रहिए क्रिक ट्रैकर के साथ और देखते रहिए इन द एयर शो।